Hello and welcome to our 18th session, wherein we are going to continue with our challenges, and we have two more advanced level challenges which are hard to crack. The document for these challenges is already provided in the Patreon page. You can download and try it on your own, and if you have any problem, then you can continue to watch this video to solve the other two challenges. The third challenge will be to add a user interface wherein every time you feed food to the animal, your score is going to get added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. And for the player, there will be 3 lives. Once he loses his lives, number of lives becomes 2, then 1. And when the life becomes 0, only then the game over message should appear. Remember, all this will be shown right now in the console window, because in the future session, we are going to have a separate session on user interface. In that case, we can add all these console messages on the screen. Double click on this Unity Hub shortcut to launch Unity Hub. Come into the project window and open the deer_game, which is our food feeding game. Now, if you doesn't have this project, don't worry. If you come into your YouTube video description, click on more, you are provided with a Patreon link. Click on this link. This will take you to the Patreon page, and if you scroll down, you are provided with this 18 Deer Game Advanced Challenges.zip file. Click on this to download it. It is about 1 GB in size. Once you download it, put it into your Unity projects folder, right click and choose extract all to extract all the files. Come back to Unity Hub, choose add project from disk, come to the Unity projects folder, and where you had unzipped all the files just now, open that folder and click on open. Right now I click cancel here, and I will click on this deer_game to open my food feeding project. Now, once the project is open, we were working on this Deer Game_challenge 1 file. The first thing I want you to do is go to File, choose Save As, and come into Unity project Deer Game Assets, and in Scenes, I am now going to call this as Deer_game challenge 2 and save this file. Now, after saving the file, now to record our game score and also the lives of our player, come into the project panel, and in assets, come into the scripts folder, open this, and in the scripts folder, right click, come into create, and we are now going to create a new mono behavior script and call this as Game Manager and press enter. Now see that name of the class here and the name of the file is the same. Then double click to open this in Visual Studio Code. Coming into Visual Studio Code, in this Game Manager class, after this open flower bracket, I will press enter, and I am going to first add a comment, create a variable to hold the score. Press enter, public space, type of this variable is integer, space, score, space, equal to, I will set its initial value to 0 and end it with semicolon. Press enter, I will add a comment, 2 double slashes and variable to hold the player's life. Press enter. Public, type of variable is integer. I am going to call this as lives, and I am going to set its initial value to 3, and I am going to end it with semicolon. We are now going to declare two methods, one to add lives and another is to add score. I doesn't need this start and update class at all. I will select all the classes here, everything, and I will delete it. I will press enter. I am going to add a comment, add or subtract lives, and for this I am going to create a new method. I will press enter once again to come to next line. This is a public method and it is not going to return any value, so I will call it void, and I am going to call this as AddLives, and in open close brackets, I am now going to add a parameter to this, and that parameter is similar to variable. I have to first declare what kind of parameter it is. It is an integer, and I am going to give it name like value. Close parenthesis, press enter. I will add open close flower brackets, and inside code block, now I am going to call this variable lives, and I am going to add. So for this we use the command plus equal to. It is going to add the value. So whatever value you had in this integer, that will get added to my life, and once it is added, we are going to test for a condition. So if I press enter, if in open close bracket, the condition is if lives value is less than or equal to 0, then I will come out of bracket, press enter, add open close flower bracket, and inside the flower bracket, I am now going to write to the console window game is over. So I will call this debug.log, and in open close brackets end it with semicolon. Inside this is a string, so I will add inverted comma, and in between the inverted comma I will add game over. If the life is 0 or less than 0, we see this message in the console window, and we will then set the lives value to be equal to 0 and end it with semicolon. If lives is not equal to 0, then I will press enter, and below this line I will now call for debug.log open close bracket, end it with semicolon. First the string value lives colon and a space. I will come out of this inverted comma, press a space, press plus, add it with lives. Whenever this AddLives method is called with an integer value, whatever value you add it in the integer, that value will be added or subtracted to life. If this life value becomes less than 0, we get game over and lives will be 0, or otherwise in the debug.log it is just going to print lives is equal to the value of lives. Now after AddLives, I will come to this code block closing flower bracket, press enter twice. I will now declare one more method. It is also public. It is void as it is not going to return any value, and I am going to call this as A capital AddScore in open close bracket. Inside the bracket I will call for an integer and I will give it the value. Come out of this bracket, press enter, and in open close flower bracket inside this code block I am going to call the variable score, and for it plus equal to I am going to set its value. So whatever value is entered here, it will be added to the score. Press enter, and I will call this debug.log, and in open close brackets I will end it with semicolon, and inside this bracket in inverted comma the first string I am going to print is score space, end it with inverted comma. I am going to add whatever is the value of the score. So this will be printed now to my console window. Just above this AddScore, I will also add a comment at the end of AddLives method. I will press enter twice with 2 forward slashes AddScore. Then I am going to go to file and save this. Now we have declared the method AddLives and AddScore. If you come back into Unity, allow the script to compile. If you come into the script MoveForward, and if you double click to open it, in this MoveForward script we were declaring this game over. I have to replace this game over with AddLives method of GameManager. GameManager.cs is a separate script file and MoveForward is a separate script file. Now I want to get GameManager.cs file AddLives method into MoveForward.cs file. For this, we are declaring a variable. In the 9th line, I will press enter with 2 forward slashes, add a comment, create GameManager variable to assess lives and score. Then this variable will be a private variable. The type of this variable is GameManager, and I am going to call this as GameManager and end it with semicolon. Now the only difference is initially when I am calling GameManager, I am using G capital because I am calling a game object, and the second GameManager is the variable name. As soon as the game starts, in the start I am now going to call this GameManager variable, and I am going to set it equal to, I want this to find game object, and I am going to call a method called find, and in open close bracket inside this, what is the component it has to find? I have to add it as a string. So in open close inverted comma, I am going to call GameManager period I am now going to get component, and the component names will always be given in lesser than and greater than sign. So I will add lesser than greater than sign, and in between that I will call my component game manager. This should always end with open close brackets and end it with semicolon. For this variable game manager, I have added a reference. It will first search for the game manager game object in my scene, and from it will get the component game manager, which is the script. We are next going to come into the update. Instead of debug log game over, I am now going to call this game manager period. I am now going to call AddLives, and in open close bracket end it with semicolon, and the parameter I am going to give here is -1, because lives should be subtracted whenever animals move out of the bound area. I select this entire line here. I will copy this. I will come down in the second X transition. This is for left and right animal spanning. Instead of debug log game over, paste this game manager AddLives -1. Now I will come to file and save this. I will come back to Unity and allow the script to compile. As of now, if I run this game as it is, I will get an error. You can observe it. The game starts, and when my animals go out of the bound, you can see the error. So if I come into window, general, and open the console window, you can see the error it is showing. It is showing that object reference not set to an instance of an object. I will close the console window, stop the playback. We have declared the game manager script, but we doesn't have any game manager object in the hierarchy at all. I have to come into the hierarchy, right click, and I have to create an empty object. Call this as game manager, and for this I will drag this game manager script and attach it. So now you can see the game manager script is attached. If I now save this, I will come into window, general, and I will open the console window. I am going to clear all the old errors, drag this console window and place it to the right of my game view. Then if I now execute the game, you can now see as the game starts, whenever these animals go out of bounds, you can see now life became 2, 1, 0, and then the game over. This logic is now working fine. I will stop the playback. The next part we have to add is the score. For score, we are going to use this detect collision script. Double click to open it. I will come to the top, and as soon as this mono behavior class is declared, after this open flower bracket, I will press enter. Now I will come into the move forward script, and I am going to select this create game manager, this line, and this private game manager comment, and this private game manager I am going to copy it, and in detect collision paste it. I am declaring a variable called game manager, which is a game manager object. I will come back to move forward. In start, we have referenced our game manager variable to our game manager object component game manager script. So I will copy this, come into detect collision. We doesn't have this on start method. So I will press enter twice, and now I am going to call this void start, end it with open close bracket, press enter, and add open close flower bracket, and inside this now I will press enter, and I am going to paste this. I am going to come here in on trigger enter. Before I destroy these two game objects, I have to add the score. So above this, I am going to press enter here, and before I destroy the game object, I am now going to call this game manager period. I am going to call AddScore, and in open close bracket end it with semicolon, and here I can add what is the amount of score I have to add every time the animal is fed. Say I will keep the score at 5. If I go to file and save this, I will come back to Unity and allow the script to get compiled. If I press the play button, now as the game is playing, I am firing, and whenever I hit, you can see the score is increasing. You can see the score increasing whenever I hit the object. So now this core is also working and also this game over logic is also working. So now I will stop the playback. So with this, we are going to complete this session, and in our next session, we are going to undertake one more difficult task of adding a hunger slider or a hunger bar on the animal.